welcome to the garden. Today we're going to be making sauerkraut with red cabbage. It's a bit of an experiment. I've never made sauerkraut before, but it's really easy to do. You really only need cabbage and salt. There's no cooking involved, it's all fermentation. I took one of the outer leaves, and these actually make a great little water bowl. So I'm going to set this out for the birds because it's a really nice little cup. Cut it in half so you get a nice half like this. This is all we're going to be using today. And then we're going to quarter it. We'll take out that whole core. So we want to get a nice flat spot so it doesn't move around. And then you want to just slowly come in and shave off little pieces like this. So I'm just going to take my time and cut it all the way down so that we have a consistent mix. Then when we add the salt, it's really going to extract all the juices in here, and it'll take up much less space. So we'll be able to fit it in that little mason jar, no problem. Doesn't really matter that much what size you go for. I've even heard of people pickling or fermenting the entire head of cabbage, which would be a lot of fun to try. Now this is the fun part. You want to get nice, clean hands, wash up really good, and then we're going to really work the salt into our cabbage. That's important to break down those cell structures. All those juices we're going to use to hermetically seal our sauerkraut. I'm just using 1 tablespoon of kosher salt. So if you're using a whole head of cabbage, that's about 2 tablespoons. So to be exact, you want 1 tablespoon per pound. I'm using kosher salt because that's really all I have. It would be better to use sea salt, but I would recommend not using table salt or iodized salt. It's just been treated a little bit too much, and it can inhibit that fermentation. We really want this to ferment naturally. So you want the cleanest, most natural salt you can get, which is going to be sea salt or that really expensive Himalayan pink rock salt. So now I'm just going to work this over and over, and as we really grind that salt in, it's tearing that cell structure and releasing liquids. It's already breaking down. I can see that it's working. So this is broken down enough to where I think we can get it into our mason jar. So we'll just do little batches at a time. So we've just about filled our jar here. So now I'm just going to pour on the rest. And all the juice. The color on this is just incredible. It looks like grape juice. Beautiful dark purple. So now the last step is just to let this ferment for a week at least, maybe up to 2 or 3 for the best results. So I'm just using a little paper towel and a rubber band so that we can replace it easily. This will allow it to breathe so that it can ferment naturally. So now it'll be a couple weeks of fermenting in a dark place where it's about room temperature, maybe a little cooler. You could even do this in the fridge if you really want to be safe, but it's going to be very slow acting. So we've got our cabbage fully submerged, but it's kind of right on the border. If you had some sort of a sterile weight, you could just have that on top and it would press them down. Or you could add extra brine by boiling some salt water and then adding that. Or you could get in there with nice clean hands or a spoon and press everything down again. And that's what I've done. I've just pressed it all down. That releases a little bit more of that brine, and it'll just kind of submerge some of the stuff that tries to float, because there is so much air in an actual cabbage that a lot of the times you can get pieces that float. But we want it submerged so that it has that anaerobic fermentation. That way we just don't get bad bacteria, anything harmful. So it's really important to make sure it's submerged. It's been 3 weeks since we started our purple sauerkraut. I've had to stir it up a couple times. There was some gas forming down below, so I had to stir that in to release it. I even had to press this down, so I just used a glass from the kitchen and I just gave it a little press until everything was submerged. So let's try it plain. Wow, that's perfect. Oh, it tastes so good. It's just like the stuff straight out of the can. So we'll try a little bit with our bratwurst here. That is beautiful. That is amazing. It kind of stains the bratwurst a little bit purple. Wow, this is really good stuff. Look at how beautiful that is. Man, that's amazing. So now I'm going to pop this in the fridge, and it should last for at least a couple more weeks. Probably even more like a month. So I hope you give this a go. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.